Today we're talking about the pound and the potential for a short opportunity coming up for this pair. We're also going to take a look at the DXY and that potential local bottom that we've discussed over the past few videos. Now, if you guys do want my help with your trading, click on the link at the top of this video, and that's going to give you 90% off lifetime access to the VIP course and community where I'm active every day helping members and also posting exclusive charts and setups. And you'll also see my trades in real time and get those daily videos that are only available for members. So see the link in the description of this video, or if you're on the website, click on that Join VIP link. So looking at the pound, we've talked about this here for the past few videos. And what I've mentioned is that this market is so far, showing relative strength compared to something like the euro. And that's because we do have this range that has built up here for the past couple of years. And unlike the euro, the pound has been kind of trailing a little bit in terms of that key resistance level, which comes in at 1.28. Now, the market is so far struggling right around 127.10, which is another level that I mentioned over the weekend. So looking at the daily chart, you can see right here, we do have this pivot that is built up around 1.271. And so far, the pound is kind of struggling to break above this here today. Now, we could get a, bearish looking pin bar here if the market were to close down here in this area, right below 1.271. But I do think, though, that the better risk reward would be up around 1.28. However, the challenge there is what's going on with the DXY, because we've talked about this for the past few videos. If you guys will recall, over the weekend, I was mentioning how I was cautiously bullish on the US dollar after this retest down here. So we've talked about this ascending channel here in 2024 for some time. In fact, ever since the market started to reclaim levels like this back here around 101.9, we also had this fake out down here below this key level. Okay, so both of these were bullish reclaims. And then we had moves like this up here, which was a bearish fake out above levels like this for that pullback. So the market has telegraphed its moves relatively well here in 2024, despite a lot of the choppy price action. Now, for the DXY, though, 105 is going to be a critical test here, as a reclaim up here above 105 this week would signal the next leg higher here for the DXY. Now, keep in mind that this doesn't have to happen this week. Okay, it could happen next week, but if we were to get the market closing above 105, then in my opinion, it would solidify that this down here is a bottom here for the dollar and get that move higher up toward 105.6 and then potentially back toward 107. All right, so I know a lot of people might be looking to short the dollar here, being the fact that it's at resistance, but this is not the way that I trade. I do not blindly short from resistance like this because I know that the high conviction play is to wait for a reclaim above 105 to make this down here a fake out, because that would give us that high conviction for the move higher for the US dollar. Okay, so it's the same thing I've mentioned with the Euro USD and also the Australian dollar versus the USD. And even the Australian dollar versus the New Zealand dollar, guys, that I mentioned over the weekend. So if you saw the weekly forecast, basically everything I talked about in that forecast, all 5 markets are starting to set up nicely. And even the Australian dollar versus the New Zealand dollar just had our first take profit. Today, I am still in that trade, but all of that was announced in real time in the VIP group. Okay, so with the pound, guys, if we were to see the market close back below 127.10, then again, that could give us a bearish pin bar candle here for the move down here toward 1.256. Okay, but it's going to depend on what the DXY does here at 105. So don't make the mistake of trying to short the pound while the DXY is still below 105. You need to see the DXY reclaiming 105 on a daily closing basis in order to have any kind of high conviction short here for the pound. All right, but ultimately, the market is still just below that trend line that we've looked at, that 2021 trend line here for the pound, which does come in up there around 1.28. So if we were to see that here over the coming days, I do think that that's the area where, at least for me, I would be looking for a potential short, because that is the best risk reward ratio when you consider this range here that the market has been in for the last year and a half. Okay, and one other reason why I'm not going to press the issue here at 1.2710 is just because we do have markets that are potentially setting up really well, like even the SPX that I've talked about in the VIP group, and also the Australian dollar that I mentioned last weekend. So both of those markets are setting up. The Australian dollar versus the New Zealand dollar just hit our first take profit, and that one's running nicely. So I'm in no hurry to trade the pound just because I do have a profitable trade open, and we also have other markets, other more favorable markets that are setting up right now. But again, if we did get something up here toward 1.28, over the coming days, I think that that would be very appealing for a potential short to play the range that is built up here over the last year and a half. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon for notifications. Don't forget to join us in VIP. See the link in the description of this video, or if you're on the website, click on that join VIP link for 90% off lifetime access to the course and real-time trading group. Trade well out there, and I will talk to you again tomorrow.